Ziggity zig, back with more Tales from the Ladder! This game is not actually a Tale from the Ladder because this is Rush versus that guy Griff. And whereas sometimes Griff does go up against Platinums, where Rush is now currently placed in Platinum and Griff is currently placed in Silver, this is one of our pub lunch league games where we kind of just we go out to the pub for lunch and we talk about StarCraft. So this is just the four of us, where UCMOP is also involved in this because we all live in the general vicinity, and we go to lunches and just talk about StarCraft. So we just decided to start playing against each other. Three of us are evenly matched. Rush is in Platinum. You did your league placement. Oh, come on, Rush, you gotta be able to type. So we're just going to go with the supply depot just to block off any kind of shenaniganry that Griff may have in mind with a gateway rush. Doesn't not seem to be a zealot rush just yet. Yeah, just before this. So Griff did place in silver, which is kind of weird. I don't know how I placed in gold. Win-lose, managed to get plat. So you have the same game as this, and Griff was kind of worried that he got a little steamrolled. Now, if you look at the average EPM, it's now, it's only slightly in Rush's favor, but it's really not a big deal just far. Lost place silver, seems fair. Oh, that's kind of an ouch. But yeah, so pretty basic build right here from Rush, where he's going to do a barracks build. Griff is just about ready to make that gateway. There's another boost. Is he going? Oh, he might be going. He might be going Nexus first. Oh, that's exciting. Let's go Nexus first. That'd be a good time. It looks like, yep, we're going to get a reactor on there. It was 4 gated, and I was too greedy with my expand. Boy, I probably should have cast that game just before this one. But I decided to do the cast of, yeah, he is going to go Nexus first. So it's the Nexus first against against just a 1 gate. We'll find out what Rush is going to do behind this. He's probably going to go and have a peek with a Reaper. Does he have enough money for the Reaper? Almost! Booyah! There's the Reaper. So the Reaper expand. The Reaper's going to wander down here. You're going to be able to hop up and down. Probably even, yeah, going to be able to hop up and down here and check out the expansion. So didn't have the units to hold. And you know, he's got him talking, so that's pretty piss poor terrible. A little bit of just the 1 gate here on the expansion, which is not so bad. Meantime, Rush is working on his expansion just there, but there we go. So the Reaper is going to move his way over there. Okay. Well, oh yeah, it is a 4-player map. I'm not sure if it's cross spawn only in ladder, but I suppose we can find out. Eventually, I'll just do a little bit of research. Meanwhile, the two of them talking about things at the same time. So we're gonna get a reactor there for Rush. We got the gateway down. This place a little while after the Nexus. A fair amount of gas right now on the way for Griff, so he's probably going to be looking at boosting out a mothership core anytime soon. Goes for the the forge, and just a bit more macro, whereas right now the worker supply is ahead as far as Griff, but here comes the Reaper. Is going to wander his way up here, and he's going to hop up onto this, but the issue there is that Rush does take a look at that and sees what's going on. Does not see quite all the builds that he's looking for. The Cybernetics core is going to be down here, but Rush is now going to pop down, and he spies. Yes, there it is, with pretty much no units on the board just yet. Only thing that he's got currently is, yep, just some probes. Oh, not even. I was wondering about getting that mothership core out, but this guy is going to slowly peck away down here. Meanwhile, Griff is going to try to move some other. Oh, he's going for a bunker as well. Not really sure if he's really needs that bunker, but it's going to pop down a cannon just to be in behind that. But now the Reaper, did get left behind, and is going to quickly die. Was not expecting that from Rush, but he must have been looking at a couple of other different things up here where he's upgrading that to an orbital command, and he's got the bunker ready to defend against any kind of counter pressure that comes out of that guy Griff. But for right now, his income is going to be, it's just going to be a little bit higher until Rush gets his second base out. There's that mothership core that got boosted out, which is an excellent plan. Stalker on the way right now, and +1. So Griff just hopping down with the robotics facility, and up against Terran. I really do like the robotics facility play. However, one of the things that Bomb Core's always telling me is that your robotics facility should be a little closer to the front, but Griff knows what he's doing, and as long as he's not, if he goes straight to Colossus or anything like that, because Immortals are going to have a hard, well, no, he's got enough of the game right there. So I'm just second-guessing everything that I'm talking about, where, you don't need to listen to me, because, well, no one needs to listen to me. He's got the mothership core on patrol. I kind of like that idea. where at any point you could see a drop from over here or a drop from up there. So actually you probably want a pylon up at one of the corners, maybe off here to the side at the same time. Griff's not really worried about that just yet. If you can tell from what Rush is doing, Rush is mostly just working on his army right now, and it's really even, which is quite surprising. But he does have a couple of these Widow Mines, so now what Griff is going to need is some vision, but he's not making anything out of his robotics facility just yet. Still trying to get that warp gate finished. There's no +1 on the way. The forge is still not making anything just yet. There we go. So we got a an observer on the way. Warp gate is not quite complete, but we do have a number of. We got 5 gates on 2 bases right now. Not 2 out of 3 over there, but I always make that mistake as well. Not quite all the gas that you could be using, but he is on a really nice income. Currently staying ahead of Rush as far as income goes. Here comes a small contingent of Marines just across the base to have a look and see what's going on. We get 3. Oh, here we go. It's 3 mech right now working on. Oh, it's Widow Mine. Some kind of weird, interesting Widow Mine rush. Is that where they're going? I'm not quite sure where they're at. Oh, yeah, they're hopping up here to the top of the ramp. Meantime, Griff's got his observer heading off in the other direction, and now it does look like, is this a patrol? No, I think he's just maneuvering everyone all up together. No, some of them are just kind of passing, 2 ships passing in the night, 2 Marines passing 2 other Marines, pretending that they are ships. Because on Halloween, sometimes it's fun to dress up as a boat, and other times it's fun not to dress up at all and just, you know, be a boat in the first place. Because what do boats dress up as? If a person dresses up as a boat and comes up against another boat, it seems kind of embarrassing, wouldn't it? You just sort of say, oh, hi, I came dressed as what you already are. Which would be kind of useless if you went out to a frat party on Halloween night and dressed up as a douchebag. But there you go. That's neither here nor there. Another command center on the way right now for Rush, who's going to take a second expand, take a third base just there, while Griff is still just working on +1. Warp gate is done. There's a Twilight Council. More gateways warping in, trying to get a number more of observers. So it is observer and blink. Don't see quite the Twilight Council just yet, so he's going for kind of a blink stalker type maneuver on this one. But there's a lot of Marines running around over town. Over the middle of the map, and a bunch of Widow Mines going to pop down right here in the middle, and I'm not sure if Rush is either going for kind of observation or... Oh, I couldn't really tell you. But the next thing is this observer is slow. These 2 observers are slowly making their way up here, and he's just, there we go, covering the corners of the base, trying to make sure that he knows what's going on. Now, the only issue there is that he'd really like to have an observer right here, and I think Griff is making another one, but I'm not sure where this one is currently going. Yep, he's going to join his army, so he's not going to move out without that observer. I really hope that's what's going to happen. Meantime, the Mothership Core's actually got plenty of energy right now, and I believe, oh yeah, that's enough for 2 photon overcharges, so with this right now, Griff is that's just outside of Griff's range. These 2 observers are slowly kind of in the mix. Griff is slowly falling behind in the army supply, and even the worker supply just a bit, because that 3rd base is not quite up yet, but he is making an orbital command. Here come, yep, there go the Widow Mines. Griff's got the observer ready to look at that, so we probably should move down and take care of those. But he's waiting for just one more warp in. Here come a few more zealots, and get the zealots in the front. Just double click them, put them in the front, put them in the front. Let's go to the front, let's go to the front. Come on, we're eager young space cadets, and we really want to get out and involved. But the eager young space cadet is coming out here from Griff. Look at all those Widow Mines, so he knows what to do, he knows what's up. And now, oh my god, he's working on Psionic Storm at the same time. Psionic Storm in +2. This observer is slowly having a peek, and he does manage to take a look and see that it's pretty much just Widow Mines at the moment. I don't think there's any other mech unit on the board, no. So he does see that. Griff trying to maintain himself, and picking one off before he even gets in range. This observer is really going to do some damage, but the problem is that he gets one shot off there, and he's slowly just going to pick his way through these Widow Mines, which is really going to work. Meantime, Rush is taking 4 bases at a time, deciding to flex his EPM Moxie. Griff staying pretty close to his base, because once again, as soon as you move out of your base, that's usually when bad things start to happen. Does have the High Templar ready for feedback over here. If he can get on it fast enough, that's what the pros do, is you just kind of feedback it. Rush is going to bury those guys as well. Now Griff is going to try to take a 3rd base here. Is a little bit late, but for us, I mean, 1329 for a 3rd base is not so bad, especially when you're going up against something like this. But the problem here is that, does Griff see this? No, Griff does not quite see this. So if he kept, I don't know if you want to put your observers on a patrol or something like that. You got a patrol there. This is researching, so we got charge. Psionic Storm is done can make High Templar. The gas income right now for Griff is not quite as high, so probably, I think some 2-2 charge right about now, but I think we're at 0-0. Oh no, it's 2-1. So we got 2-1, charge is almost done, we got Blink Stalkers, we have Vision. Vision is going to be really helpful in this, just to have at least high ground and whatnot, but for right now, it's still a very even game. I mean, Rush is only a tiny bit ahead. There's a few more units boosted in right there, and we got just the High Templar kind of hanging out in back. Not quite sure what Griff's got so far as, he's got a cannon down there, and a cannon, so just one cannon checking each other's the two bases, which is pretty sweet. You got a second robo facility happening over there. Nothing to support the robo facilities, because Griff is not quite sure what he's up against just yet, aside from the mech. He scouted the factories. After that, still sticking with the gateway units and some Templar. Templar's not moving into Archons just yet, so he's gonna rely on a little bit of Storm, I assume so. He did research Storm, so Storm away, and that's gonna be the charge behind it. A decent army right now. His army supply is it's still keeping up with Rush. 15 minutes into the game. Rush is all set with a capacity of a 200 army, but no 200 army just yet. Has a ridiculous amount of money. That's just, man, that's near Facebook money going on right there. So it just needs to start producing a number more units and just making sure that everything is producing at the same time. If you look at the production facility right now, it's just making, tanks, making 6 starports, because, yep, 6 starports, 5 over there, don't know where the 6th one is, but whatever. We're gonna move out some of the bio units, included with, oh yeah, it's just a whole bunch of Widow Mines, but Griff does have a decent amount of vision on that, so the Widow Mines shouldn't be too much of a problem for him. Now, luckily, he's going to move in here, and with this one little Zealot hit squad, he's going to take out this base, because for whatever reason it didn't lift off. But now, this Observer is ready to go, and Griff's going to move out and actually take out a number of units. We losing here, units killed, so that went quite well. I think that was a decent hit for Griff, actually. Little does he realize how many bases there actually are, but this is, oh yeah, that's a very high number of tanks, and I'm not sure if Griff's got quite, oh, that was a bit late. Comes up against the tanks. Some of the tanks are probably going to siege up. There's the siege up right there. Not moving in everybody just yet. The Archon's a little bit late to the party, but the Guardian Ship's probably going to do quite well. Oh, there's a couple of Storms right there in the middle, but sadly, Storm's going to take out the bio, but man, he is going to move his way through here. Maybe try to get a few more of those Zealots to the front. The Charge-Lots are really going to lay into these tanks, but for whatever reason he now backs up. I don't know why he backs up, but he backed up. There he is, and there's a few more Zealots that are just ready to go. So the Rush does turn tail between legs and runs back away, sadly, leaving behind this one single tank, which Griff did not quite take out, so Rush is going to decide to bring him home last minute. Griff did sort of see that, but couldn't really do much about it, and the income is still, wow, well, the amount of gas is wildly in Rush's favor, but Griff is a little bit low on funds at the moment. I'm not sure if he's sort of running out at his main base. No, well, yeah, close, getting there, but he probably could use a 4th base. Taking this one would be chancy. I think taking this base down here would probably be his best bet, but of course he's not listening to me right now because this was played a long time ago. Army supply is actually in Griff's favor at the moment. Now Griff's trying to get out the Warp Prism and is just boosting out some of these Immortals because he knows that Immortals are going to do well up against the tank. Sorry, I had to take a quick stretch there, otherwise I'm just going to wiggle around like this. There we go. So we're getting on the the Cerebral Palsy cast. Sorry, that was really quite tasteless. I did not mean to be that tasteless, but sometimes you just say the first thing that comes to your head. Here's a couple of observers. This one is still checking out this base right here, watching all these moves come down. Griff has no idea there's a base up there, doesn't know about the base up over there, doesn't know, but whoa my goodness, and more bases over here for Rush. So Rush is just, yeehaw, let's go, let's make some more bases. Griff does have a small spattering of an army lead currently, so now he just needs to decide what he's going to do with that army. The problem here is that Griff knows that Rush plays in Plat, and so he's just kind of nervous about what he's going to do about that. Now, he had a really good engagement just back there. Probably could have... I don't know if he wanted more Archons or not, but he wasn't sure how sizable a mech army he was up against. So we didn't know, the Templars and the Storms really did help against the bio that was mixed in amongst all of the tanks. So now Griff just needs to get in through here, and there we go. So he does, yep, he sees this one, thinks that's the only base, does not know about this one over here with all the, oh man, and they're all coming out with a bunch of Banshees. Do the Banshees have cloak? The Banshees have cloak. Of course they do. Now, the only issue there is that, oh, he's got a couple of these, and he's got, I think he's got an observer or two in the army, so these will get taken out. These Templar are slowly moving their way up here, and oh, getting feedbacked! Hitting up with the feedback. The blink is going to hit, and the Archons are going to take those out, so that got wasted pretty fast. Griff's got to wonder where these units came from, but right now he is still just a little bit ahead, and I don't think, nope, these Banshees. The tanks, however, the tanks and the Thors, oh, and the bottleneck of this one ramp, Griff is in a whole lot of trouble now because his units got very, very separated. The Archons don't have the range to be any help here, and the blink straight into this, I think, oh yeah, Griff really could have done a lot better by backing up there. I think this game could go a lot different right here, but now Griff's got the 3-1, and he's slowly making his way in here because Rush was full-on macro, and now he's got almost no army supply whatsoever, but he's just got a tiny little bit left, and this Observer is putting in, he's just the MVP of the game because all of these cloaked units, they're losing out here, and now Griff just needs to, oh dear, it's 4 Thors coming out all at the same time, but Griff does stop to take care of this base because it's one of the few mining bases, well, not one of the few mining bases, but Rush does have a number of mining bases over here. Does send in a number more zealots in here because so he could tell and figure out about the second base, figuring out where all those Banshees were coming from, and now these zealots are doing quite a lot of work over here, but the big problem is that if these starports either pump out a Banshee or get up off the ground, there's going to be a lot of trouble there. But this Observer once again popping up to the top of the ramp to be able to give that vision in order to at least take out these guys that are stuck up here at the top of the ramp. Rush is going to siege up, and now Griff is a little bit stuck outside of things, but he just has quite a sizable army. This is just enough of an army to do something about this, and there's nothing left of this base over here. These starports are being mopped up there, and Griff is still on 3 base, which is the big problem right here. Could have taken a 4th base, did not do that just yet. Rush right now really on about 2 working bases, but he's just getting hella muled down here, so he's, yeah, super carried into the mule range. Not getting enough gas, so he's not getting these gases down on his expansions. This base is nothing left of this base. Here's a few more charge lots now on the way, but just the one lowly sentry I'm a little bit worried about. These charge lots go in here, and they do a little bit of damage here against the mech, but now is the time. Now is the time to move out before the siege up. The siege up does happen, but I think with one Guardian Shield, oh, it gets popped off. The sentry gets popped off, and I don't think Griff's got enough to deal with this with the Archons. Those siege tanks are just going to wreck everything, so I think it's time to move back, and that's what did it. He took care of the Thors. Here's the War Prism's going to bring in the Zealots, which are probably going to come in here and take out a lot of the tech here at the back end of things, but as far as the army supply goes, it's actually quite low in the army supply. Griff got having very little in the way of production right now, getting another 5 Zealots coming in down here, but these siege tanks once again are gonna pop off the remainder, and Griff, having not taken another base, he can work in a number more Templars to turn into Archons, and I think it's one of the few things that can save him right now. That, and he really needs to take another expansion. He needs to take this base up here, or he needs to take even this base over here. Oh, and these Zealots need to get back into the fray, but it looks to be that Rush is just having enough in the fact that these factories remain the same, and so now it's going to be Hellbats that come in and ruin the day of the lowly Protoss player who is just trying to mine and take a base. There's the base right there, taking a bit of a late 4th expand as per the number of bases that Rush has and just the number of money that he banked in behind this, but no gas was prepared ahead of time. Now working on the huge gas. I'm huge ass. But it's not huge ass, it's huge gas. Huge gasman. Huge Ackman. I'm gonna stop saying things entirely. But let's see, it looks to me that even with the Hellbats that Rush can get up in the back end of things, and he's now starting to come out with things like Raven, Air, and Ship plating. So the upgrades for all of that whatnot. not. He's going to move his way up there, and the problem with this is that Griff does see it coming in. All he's got is some zealots that can warp in, but now he's in a fair amount of trouble. He's going to probably blast into these other rocks, and this is actually a decent army that he's been able to bring back into the sway of things, but it's just not going to be enough, because, yeah, Rush is still making them hellbats, which does not cost him much in the way of gas. It just costs him a few minerals, and he's got ludicrous minerals to spare. Griff, however, not quite in the same position, doesn't hit up the sentry Guardian Shield or any of the force field. He could possibly force field this out. I'm not quite sure what good that's going to do because the siege, he's quite bottlenecked. Rush knows exactly when to move and when not to move, and now he's gonna squeeze through. Oh no, he's not gonna bother with the bottleneck, but he's gonna come down here and ooh, that's a really lucky find coming across all these pylons. That's gonna go poorly, and Griff is now in a little bit more trouble. At least he's caught a little bit further out in the open. Still not all that good of a concave because he just does not have the units to carry it. And there come the Hunter-Seeker missiles, and that's going to take care of the rest of the Archons, and it looks like Griff is pretty much out of options at this point. Held in there, that mid-game was really almost enough to keep him in it. Maybe 1 or 2. He had 5 or 6 excellent army engagements, but just that 1 or 2 near the end that he could have bottlenecked in a different way, and that would have won him the game. Just one bad engagement near the end there. Everything else was going really well for him. I think that was a great game for Griff, actually. And Rush comes out on top of that one. And leave me a comment down below. Send me an email, ziggityzig@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at ziggityzig. If you have an interesting, decent, funny, crazy replay, send it over to me, email it to me, or get it to me however you can, and I'll try to cast and get it up for more Tales from the Ladder, and you can join me again when we do more of these. Stay tuned.